Nation Radio. United we rock.
The band is Pith.
Yeah.
Yes. Your names and what you do for the band.
My name's Jason Votor, and I play guitar in Pith. I do a lot of writing, and yeah. And you?
I'm ZV, and I do vocals.
Vocals. Excellent. Well, I do have a comment to pass on to you then from our listeners.
Mm-hmm.
I've played baptisms a few times since I got my hands on it, and you've definitely been likened to what's the guy's name again? Peter Steele.
Oh yeah, the logo.
Oh yeah.
I'm also a fan, so
Excellent.
Good compliment.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
I enjoy the shirt too.
I like the low vocal. Yeah, Faith No More. Yeah. They got a new album, I think, come this year.
Early.
Yeah.
They took a picture of the LP that they for their listening. For
Okay.
Listening, so
Nice.
it's kind of exciting.
I'm eager. Very eager.
Yeah, definitely.
What does Pith mean? Where did that come from?
It means many things. I think we like the name because of the sonic component. Jason came up with it. Before I was even on the scene, and I just was like, I love like a 4-letter word that nobody's got, and we fill it with our power.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Pith means a stem. It means they had those Pith helmets in Germany where it's the spike on top, almost like a conduit. You know what I mean? Something that goes from one thing to another and like, gives it fuel or like power.
It's got a lot of meanings, actually.
Yeah.
Very different meanings too, but all that kind of come back to. They all kind of feed what I feel like I want this band to be about.
Okay.
Which is pretty organic, raw, but also strong in what everybody does and brings to the band, whoever it is and whoever it will be.
Awesome. So who are we missing? We're missing your bassist and your drummer.
Well, we have no drummer.
Yeah,
so
We're looking for a
everybody's
drummer, so that might be a good thing to put out there.
Looking for a drummer. Well, if I can get some local
We
listeners.
have a lot of
to
people
kick in
who
there.
play with us in a pinch, but
Yeah.
we need to find our own.
Okay.
And the bass player is Troy Kirker, who plays in another band whore, plays in Holocaust,
Okay.
plays in Spew.
Oh.
He's got a new band on the go, Speed Merchants.
Oh, wow.
Violence. Yeah, with Ian.
Is he that? He's the crazy fucker right out front with Holocaust. I honestly have only.
Big, curly.
I've been around for a while, but I've only ever seen those guys once, and my jaw did not leave the floor the entire show. He was just up there, just shredding it.
Yeah.
It was insane. Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
It's Troy. He's awesome. He plays bass in the band, but he normally plays guitar in other bands. But
He plays bass in ours. He plays guitar in Holocaust and Spew.
So on your Facebook, you just recorded some drum tracks in September.
And we did that with Nathan, the drummer from Codice. He was drumming with us.
Yeah, that was his,
Then he bought a house.
his final thing with it. Well, final. Like, who knows what will happen in the future.
Right.
But he has left the band, yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, me and him went down to Riverport, Nova Scotia, to a studio called Old Confidence Lodge, which is a big old lodge with a big old theater in it.
Nice.
Set up the drums there with my buddy Diego, and who's an awesome human being and engineer and everything. And yeah, it has begun. We got 9 songs, so we'll be working that over the winter at home mostly.
Yeah. So you're just doing it all yourself?
We'll see. Yeah, I'm gonna try to get that on the go. And
Sweet.
Yeah, so.
Sean!
Uh,
Sean! Is he still over there?
Yeah.
It kind of ties into what I want to know next. Basically, it's just like sort of the writing process. How do you guys go about that? I heard a bit in your intro that you do a bit of writing.
Yeah. It usually starts off with a riff, you know, and that usually comes from me.
Okay.
But I'm always like, when I write and put together riffs and ideas, I always I try not to make it too busy because I like to have vocals in the songs. So I intentionally just leave a lot of room and space for that to happen, for that to just naturally happen. And I kind of organize a song with a lot of pockets in it and stuff. Okay. Then I just kind of bring it in, whether it's completely arranged and finished or not, and start jamming on it and kind of just let Brett feel out where he just naturally kind of wants to do stuff, and we kind of discuss things, and you know,
we hash out that
and,
stuff. And
yeah,
sometimes I might be like, maybe it'd be easier if I do my vocals and with like, what am I gonna say? Do my vocals like, just play this one a little bit longer. Like we're always kind of like super democratic, but Jason usually comes with 90% of the time you come with a full product.
Okay.
And then we get to have fun.
Yeah.
Nice.
And so open to ideas and stuff. Like, and sometimes I'll just come in with one riff, and then I'll start jamming with them, and then it's like, oh, now it's a song because I just in the moment did this.
Yeah.
And then I played a riff after I farted.
Definitely one. Yeah. There's definitely a new one on that. Oh, there's one of those on one of the newer ones we wrote for the new CD.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, so you went from 4, which cleverly 4-track EP, to Baptisms, you know, which not everybody would go with a 1-track 10 fucking plus minute, you know, epic. What's this one? Do you have any kind of themes behind this one? Is there any?
Behind
the new stuff.
The new stuff.
Yeah. So essentially, this would be like your first full length, right?
Yeah, and it's been, you know, some of the songs are like, what, 3 years old or something like that.
Okay.
And then some of them are like, they were finished, written a month before the studio or less.
Two of them,
Yeah.
Wow.
So it's like, it just,
it'd be fun recording those ones because you can be a little more like hands-on with the vocals because they're not as you know, down. Because I probably don't even is like memorized the vocals enough to kind of like.
Still carving away at some for sure. Like even me, like stuff changes in the studio. It's kind of cool when you can do that. You allow that to happen too.
Yeah.
Like instead of being so stubborn in the studio and it has to be this way. Sometimes it just works out if you just allow something to happen, and it does. And you just go, okay, take a deep breath. Okay, this is better.
Yeah, sometimes those mistakes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Either it is a benefit of being a little more open-minded. Sometimes I get to a part, finish a part, and I'm like, can't change it. I'm too conservative.
One of the things that I've been trying to get bands' opinions of, is because everybody has different perspective and different background and exposure. Since I've been doing the radio show and finding the plethora of fucking ridiculous talent that's around here, I'm kind of becoming even more solidified in my opinion that if we had better exposure for these bands, that I think the names would grow more elsewhere, and not necessarily become huge world touring acts, but fuck, at least go across Canada.
Well, the best guy who kind of put us a little bit more on the map was Josh Hogan.
Yeah.
So you got to shout out to him. So he's doing the good work, but obviously it's good. The good thing that you're doing it. You need more people in the city, right, for that stuff to happen. So it's really nice to see this kind of thing happening.
Yep.
And so there's just Josh Hogan, but just nice
Diminished
to see.
Fifth Records that he's got, and Red Tentacle Promotions too.
Yep.
Using those two things as tools to get the names out of Pith and and all the other Diminished Fifth bands like Blackmore and his own band Orchid's Curse.
Yeah, there's some great.
Much, and Die Flesh Consumed. When they were around there.
Yeah. They're one of the first ones on there, I think.
I think so.
Oh really? I don't think I've got Die Flesh yet. I think it's one of the few that I don't have from.
Well, they're defunct. Their singer moved to Toronto.
That's okay though.
But they were a great band around here.
Yeah.
Kind of like a very death metal sounding, grindy, dark funeral sound. I found.
Oh yeah.
They were very blackened, but it was very much a grind thing. But it was more like kind of like Mirksog, where it's just like relentless.
Oh, yeah.
So that if they did a breakdown, it would be one riff and it would make the song because it was like they just took you through a fluttery hell.
Nice. All right, now speaking of genre names and shit, I think you opened up Pandora's box for me. I've been asking bands that if you had a virgin listener come to you and they discovered that you were in a band called Pith, and they're like, oh my god, what's your music sound like? What would you tell them?
It was metal.
Metal?
Yeah. That's generally what I say too.
we're too all over the map, I think.
Yeah.
Like we do definitely have our influences, and we definitely have our own, I think, feel and style. But like when people talk about genre, I definitely don't want to align with anything but what's
Sometimes I
obvious.
like to give more of a descriptive sort of way of talking about the band rather than going it's death metal or it's metal.
Yeah.
But I do like to also say it's a metal band. I sometimes say death metal.
Yeah,
But
definitely
but I like to say stuff like, it's metal. The singer screams and he also sings. We like to have a little bit of feel of rock and roll in our riffs and songs, but it's not just that.
Yeah.
Just to kind of just
Absolutely.
not just
We
pigeonhole
definitely-
it with a word or two.
We definitely give a nod out in our sound to like the early '90s death metal, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
who?
that is
Like
good.
Entombed, Carcass,
Okay.
Voivod,
Autopsy.
definitely Voivod, Autopsy.
Okay.
We got like a little punk in us, you know.
Yeah,
What I mean?
yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, when I ask that question, sometimes I certainly don't want to pigeonhole anybody, and I don't want anybody to put themselves in a package at all.
Yeah.
But I'm learning that the discussion that comes out of that question is just great.
Yeah.
Because we've all thought about it.
Yeah.
We all think about it regularly.
Totally.
And I think we've all been faced with talking about it anyway. So.
Yeah.
You know, we almost tell a band who mistakes a genre word for an actual thing that you gotta be, right? Like genres are provisional things that we talk about so we can kind of differentiate in common the different styles of things maybe. But those aren't so real. You know what I mean?
No, they're completely
you
intangible.
can see when a band says, "I'm going to be a black metal band," and they just they read the manual and they walk the walk. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we're not trying to do that at all. We love lots of metal, and I think it's,
And other music too.
I think that we draw from so much of a rainbow of metal that we just totally
And other music.
Yeah. Yeah, and not just like definitely Jason the rock and roll aspect because I love rock and roll.
Yeah. It's me and this
Like
guy
the
went to the
little
Danny
bluesy-
Brown show last
Yeah, we were on a rap
Saturday
show.
night. That was
Which is
heavy
awesome.
and intense.
Okay.
That's why I like him. Yeah.
Oh, well,
He's like he jumps around like a rock star kind of.
Yeah.
Like, well, he's got a
Yeah.
song, "Die Like a Rock Star."
Good stuff. Well, how can my listeners get in touch? How can they follow up with you guys? Where can you point them?
Pith.bandcamp.com. We have a Facebook group. I think Pith Band or something like
It's like Pith and it's spelled with capital letters.
that. Capital Pith.
Yeah.
I've actually posted that in the chat room a few times. So
And,
for those who don't pop in.
Yeah. Bandcamp and Facebook is about it at the moment.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Diminished Fifth Records is
Drummers and choir within.
Yeah.